I don't think I do it.
Arsenal started like a house on fire. Signing number 2 for this new era. It's Judgment Day, people. Yeah! What did your boy tell you? It was never in doubt. Never in doubt. Don't believe in any luck, I believe I'm self-made, yeah. Now then, people, welcome back to the Just Joe Football Show and the return of the opposition previews. I hope you are all doing well. Please do smash a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, get your comments in, and of course, hit that notification bell. I do have Dan Potts joining us, regular on Arsenal Fan TV, and has his own channel that I appear on regularly called the 12th Man Podcast. Make sure you check it out. He is just currently live with a Premsy and Daps, and also, oh my God, I forgot his name, and I watch him every week. Of the Big Six, the Irish fella. What's his name? I forgot. So Potsy's going to join us in a second, but rather than keep you waiting, because you've been waiting for ages anyway, haven't you? Because we haven't done a video. Well, we did one earlier on. But what I'm saying is it's been pretty quiet on the channel over the international break, etc. So I thought I would just jump in and we'll have a chat. Wait for Potsy to come on and we can have a chat about Arsenal, get the lowdown on them. I'll have my preview out tomorrow during the day, Friday night, 5 o'clock, evening. Afternoon, I don't know which one is it. Me and Corey will be doing a little video together as well, so it'd be great to have Corey back on the channel. Then Saturday, Leeds play Arsenal, of course, and then Sunday I'll also be doing the 2 o'clock kickoff, and then I go to work at 4. Hard work, man. You got to put in the hard yards, aren't you, people? You got to put in the hard yards. Like Danny says, please do smash a like on the video. Big up to Derek Moore as well. Evening, Jack, Mark as well. Evening, all. Big up Danny. He says hi, Danny. Everyone loves Danny. I think Danny, it should be the Just Danny show. Bit down, Danny. Need this to take my mind off things. Hope you're okay. Lisa, I hope you're doing fantastically well. If you need a chat, just reach out. You know where I'm at. You're on Pepsi tonight. I've just been to the shop and bought myself some Lucozade. Bought the dog some raw mints. What else did I get? I didn't buy myself. Oh, I bought myself a Rustler's burger. Do you know what I mean? Today I've had breakfast and I've had Burger King as well. Just Joe Late Show. I was on time, mate. L, Ever the Optimist says, we're screwed. Standard for you, brother. We're not, man. We're going to be fine. Honestly, trust me. Trust and believe we're going to be fine. Okay, let's get to some more of your comments. I'll be positive if we don't get hammered on Saturday and beat Forest and Palace. That's going to happen, bro. So be positive, my man. Yes, John, I hope you're doing well. Big up to Ben Timpson as well. Joe, I know, Danny, you have followed me on my streams today, and at every stream I've seen your comments where you've said we will not be beaten. We will not be beaten on Saturday, which I hope you're right, mate, because it'd be amazing. Anything. Get a point. Amazing, wouldn't it? Big up to Ethan as well. Don't forget, folks, smash a like on the video if you haven't already. We've got Tommy Anderson with us as well. Gary also. El, don't be sorry. Don't be sorry, man. It's your opinion. You're entitled to your opinion. If you haven't already, please do smash a like. We've only got... Can't be right. Oh, but it's a 5. We've got 29. 29. Please smash a like. Just Joe. Oh, see that? That's what I'm about, man. Yes, my guy. The Just Joe Appreciation Society. Whoever that is, you're a top guy or lady. Whoever it is, big up. What is your daily diet to keep in such good shape, mate? Are you taking the piss, T? You're taking the piss, man. I'm not in good shape. Trust me, I weighed myself the other day. I'm like 13 stone 3 and I'm only 5'8". That's not good, bro. Although I have, I'm gonna go back to the gym. See how I get on there. Big up Quins, dude, my guy. Yes, Arsenal forever. Watch me on the North Side channel. Make sure you check out the North Side channel that I did a little bit earlier on as well. Thank you for coming over, Arsenal forever. Please do subscribe to the channel. We are just waiting on Mr. Potsy to finish his stream and come on over to this one. Here he is now, look. So we're going to welcome him straight in. Dan, how you doing, brother?
I'm good, man. Apologies for being late. I couldn't get off.
Man.
You know what
I
I'm
was
saying?
watching it, bro. I was watching it.
I was.
Yeah. I was
I saw you in the chat, and I flicked
yeah.
things and stuff up. But I've
Man.
asked people to follow me over, man. So hopefully we'll get some people over here to come listen to us as well, man. But
man.
apologies. I was talking about the title race. You know what I mean? So
levels to this game, mate, isn't there? You know what I mean? I was listening. I was like, so will we get past Leeds? And everyone was like, yeah, easy fixture.
Maybe that's a foolish way to be, though, man. It might be a foolish attitude to have.
No, I agree, mate. I heard what you were saying about saying, people saying, if we win the City game and Liverpool game, we've won the league, but they're not the ones that'll, you'll get slipped up in. Are you concerned at all about this game, mate? Or do you know, like Leeds United's injuries, no Adams, no Vobert, no Nonto? Do you think, we're at Emirates, we've got to get this one done?
Listen, I'm really, really concerned about every game with 10 games left because this title means the absolute world to me. So I'm not going to come on this podcast and say this is going to be a breeze walk in the park and we're only really concentrating on Anfield because that's just not the case. For me, you're always going to have these sort of games where you do not want to be anywhere near that relegation zone, which means you're going to be a threat. Whoever you have got in your side are going to give 110%. Now, I'm not going to sit there and lie to you either and say that I'm not happy that Tyler Adams, Vobert and Nonto are out, particularly Nonto. As you know, on my show, I absolutely love that kid. I think he's going to be a sick talent and already is. So for me, I look at it and think that that's definitely a bonus as far as Arsenal are concerned. But we've got weaknesses in our side as well. We're coming back from international duty as well with Saliba now out in terms of the injury news. So didn't train today, which proves to me he's definitely going to miss this one. So with Rob Holding, I believe he'll be slotting in. He's definitely not as good as Saliba. But, for me, mate, I'll go into this game always against Leeds, and I know it's going to be an exciting one because there's always goals in it. There's always goals in this game. I can't remember over them when Pepe got sent off last season, but before last. That's the only 0-0 I think we've ever had with Leeds, if I'm honest. It's always goals and the goals galore. So I'm looking forward to it, man.
Yeah, good times. I remember that. Little Alioski.
Nightmare he was. I remember that.
He's one of them players, isn't he? Like, if you play for your side, you love him. If everyone else hated him, you know what I mean? Everyone's got one. I think Xhaka was yours for a little bit, but I've sort of I like Xhaka now. But yeah, mate, listen, Arsenal's record against Leeds United is phenomenal, really, to be fair. Not even only in the league. Even when we were in like League One, we used to tend to always get you in the FA Cup or the Carabao Cup, man. There's so many times that we'd play you, but yeah, you haven't lost in this fixture in 12, man. It doesn't make for good reading for Leeds United fans. You're flying at the minute. I mean, Saka's arguably one of the best players in Europe right now, would you say? The kid's flying. Love him. Same, mate. Same, I do as well, man. It's mad. I just remember that video when he, was it David Beckham when he went up to him and he was like, please can I have a picture? And I was like, oh, man.
Love that kid, man. Everybody does, man. Everybody loves him. And it's weird. You don't normally get that. Like when somebody tears up your team and somebody, like let's just take Thierry Henry. Everybody loves him now. But at the time, I remember everyone hated him. Like, I hate Henry. He's killed us every single game we play. And Saka's doing that to teams this season. He's absolutely blitzing players, but you can't help but love him. And I think that off the pitch stuff just goes a long way for neutral fans, doesn't it?
Yeah, 100%, man. And I think just even that England setup, I know there's question marks over Southgate and all that sort of stuff. But the one thing about that group of England players, for me, I think they're a good group, man, off the pitch for sure. So talk to me about the title race, mate. Are you gonna win the league, or Arsenal gonna win the league?
I've said yes, so I'm going to have to stick with it, mate.
Yeah,
I've said yes, I'm going to have to stick with it now, man. I really felt like after leaving the Man United game where we beat him at the Emirates, I thought we were going to do it. I then said again, after we beat Villa in injury time, this just sounds like it's going to be our season. We beat you guys in the away fixture earlier in the season and didn't deserve to win it, but we did somehow. And then the Bournemouth thing happened, and I thought, this must be written in the stars now for us to win this league. And there's been too many of those. And I think when you look back at those moments, it will be the moments that people say won us the league. It won't be if we win at the Etihad or if we win at Anfield or beating Liverpool at home or beating Tottenham at home. It will be those moments. And I do think back, Vincent Kompany against Leicester a few seasons ago, won them the league. Could Reece Nelson's or Jorginho's last minute winner win us this title? And it just feels like it's written in the stars right now. If we can go on to the next level, which I believe is not going to win the rest of our games, because it's not going to happen. We are going to drop points, but I do believe City will. If we can go to that next level of not losing games when we're in a position where we're being dominated in part of a football match. Now, what I mean by that is if we go to Liverpool and Anfield and we believe this is going tough, it's half an hour here, it's 1-1 and they're all over us. Learn how not to lose that game. They're a young team that want to go gung-ho and can sometimes be a little bit naive. We did it in Old Trafford earlier in the season. 1-1, better team, looked like we were going to at least take a point, and we went gung-ho, we got caught on the counter-attack, and they beat us. I don't want to see that happening at Anfield or at the Etihad, because if it does, that's the sort of games you can look back and go, they just couldn't get over the line yet again against two sides that have dominated English football in the last 5 years. So that's the next hurdle for me to try and overcome. And if we can do that and not take the L's and try to take a couple of draws from games that potentially would have lost in the previous seasons, then I think we can get over the line. But there's too much concentration on the Etihad and Anfield for me. There's a few banana skins potentially. St James's Park ain't going to be easy. Chelsea at home is never an easy fixture. Obviously, Brighton at home this season, they're flying, absolutely flying. And they're a good side, man. So there's too long. If there was 4 games left, I'd be able to talk to you a little bit more confidently. But 10 games is huge, man.
Yeah, it is. It is. It could be a massive swing, isn't it? And then the international break, you don't know what players are going to come back like, etc. Like, it's killed Leeds United, obviously, getting as many injuries as we had. Rodrigo's not 100%. Sinisterra's not 100%. So, we're looking pretty weak. Obviously, you've got no Saliba. Rob Holding coming in then. I heard you talking over on the 12-man podcast, mate, just before. Is there calls for him to be moved? Because I heard, I think it was Premsy saying about all these moving parts. If you were to move Ben White centre back and then, Zinchenko, like, do you think Rob Holding's gonna have enough just slotting in there today? Because it'll be Bamford that he's up against. Do you look at that and think, he can deal with Bamford?
Yeah, I think he can deal with Bamford. My problem with Rob Holding is if he has a run of 7 or 8 games, there's usually some mistakes in him. And it's just the fact that he has a loose cannon moment like he did last season towards the end of the season against Son, where he just had enough, it got red carded, and that lost us the top 4. So again, we're getting to a stage we might have to utilise Rob Holding, and there's always that, is he going to go off and is that cannon moment going to happen? Against Patrick Bamford, who's a player I rate, by the way, I do think he'll be okay. I think he will come in, mate. I think he will come in. Because I don't think they'll mess around with Ben White and Zinchenko. Now, Kieran Tierney could come in at left back and Zinchenko go at right back. Or, to be fair, you leave Zinchenko left and play Tierney right, who has played there for Scotland. But I just think what you're doing then is you're ruining the relationship that Ben White and Saka have formed on that right-hand side.
Because he's good going forward, White, with Saka, isn't he?
Really overlapping at the moment has been impressive for me, man. And then, of course, Zinchenko in that inverted role on the left has been so vital to the other parts of that left-hand side as Xhaka and Martinelli. So I do think it'll be Rob Holding. And you have to remember, Joe, how good he was against Crystal Palace. Rob Holding was immense. Like, aerially won everything. He was superb in the air, superb throughout the game. And against Sporting Lisbon, when he did come on away, we went out on penalties, but actually he was really impressive when he came on. So I do think that he has to come in. I think Arteta will stick with him. And actually, when you look at the mentality of Rob Holding, that's never let him down. He's always given 110%. And he's the sort of player in the dressing room that people say is a good one to have in there. So I think he will come in, mate. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And because I did box to box in the reverse fixture, which you beat us at Ellen Road. Like you say, I think we gave you one of your toughest tests at that time of the season. Anyway, you'll know more than me after that fact, but I thought we played pretty well in that game. And I marked Gabriel as being sort of like the bozo, the weak link of having a bit of that madcap about him. And it turns out, you could argue, possibly, that he's probably been the most consistent defender over the course of the season. But if Leeds United were to get anything, like, is it Rob Holding? Is that our only hope? Is Partey fit? Will Partey play? Is he going to? What's the situation there?
So you're right on both counts there. Thomas Partey's fit. He's trained today. William Saliba did not, so he'll be out, which I think is obviously key. But I look at Rob Holding and Gabriel as a partnership. It doesn't really worry me or scare me, but you're absolutely right. Gabriel can have a bozo moment. He had one against Leeds away. Obviously, got away with it because the VAR helped us.
It wasn't he?
It was mad. I couldn't believe it. I remember losing my head on AFTV, just watching the watch along, just call him an idiot and God knows what. I thought we'd throw it away. So I lost my head, but he can have that, mate. He's been our best defender this season.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
been unreal, absolute monster, colossal at the back. I think when you look at it, actually, Mikel Arteta signing him and Thomas Partey in the first proper window that he had, it's what we needed for years, a Sol Campbell and a Vieira replacement. And we haven't had it for about 15 years. Wenger never did it. Emery couldn't quite get it. He was going with Lucas Torreira and Socrates and all these players. And I'm thinking, why are we not going for these presence, these like strong physical attributes? And that's what we've got with Gabriel and Thomas Partey. And I think Gabriel, for me anyway, has started to go from that bozo moment to actually one of the ones people are looking around to now. 25 years old. He's one of the older ones. And I know 25 is young, but we've got such a young side other than Partey and Xhaka. So for me,
is it still
Gabriel,
the youngest squad in the Prem?
I think Southampton might have beaten us on that front.
Okay.
But I think we were. I think Southampton might have just nicked it. We've basically got Partey, Xhaka, El Neni, and Rob Holding that are over 25. Everybody else is under it.
Wow.
Oh, Trossard now as well. Sorry, with the other lad we bought as well, Jorginho. So they've come in and they've bolstered it a little bit in terms of experience with a 28-year-old and a 30-year-old. But other than that, everyone's under 25, which is mad, absolutely mad. What a bright future we potentially got.
For sure,
it's scary. It really is. But you're right, mate. You can target Holding and Gabriel because it's a weak point. The other thing is, Joe, we do not keep clean sheets at home.
Yeah, I've noticed that.
We do not do it. I don't know what it is. I can't put my finger on it. Away from home, we're looking really good. We've hardly conceded anything. At home, we can see goals. I don't know if it's because we're a little bit more naive and we try and gung-ho because we try and show off in front of the fans. I don't know if we get a little bit excited and the intensity just gets too much for us. I don't know what it is, but we just seem to not be able to keep a clean sheet. Palace, we destroyed them. They scored.
Yeah, I watched.
We destroyed them. And you think, how are they scoring goals still? This side. So I wouldn't rule out a goal for you boys at all because it looks like everybody can score at the Emirates. It's mad. The good thing about it is that we're scoring at least 2 in most games now. It's mad. It's absolutely crazy.
Yeah, with that in mind, like I did have like on my score, I do think we'll get beat, but I've said 2-1 myself. I'll get yours in a bit, just because I do think we'll score, just because of that record that you spoke about. Now, obviously, in the reverse fixture, Leeds United were under Jesse Marsh. You know my thoughts on Jesse Marsh. I was not a fan at all. He had a certain style of play. Now, Grazia's come in and it's defend first. You're going to see a low block. Is that the best way to try and get a result against Arsenal at the Emirates? Because that's the difference with Grazia. He doesn't have one set way. He'll look at the opposition and say, right, this is the best way for us to get a result. Even in his presser, he's talking defend first. And if we get chances, try be clinical. Is that the best way to sit in and let Arsenal have the ball? He spoke about you having 80% possession against Bournemouth, over 70% the majority of the season. So is it just going to be a case of backs to the wall kind of job and see if we can, get a 0-0 or nick one on the break? Is that the best way, do you think? Or is it meet fire with fire?
I think if you meet fire with fire and try and play football at the Emirates, I think you'll get beat. You look at who's taken points off of us this season. Apart from Man United, who we kind of played into their hands a bit. We didn't have Thomas Partey either, and Lokonga was a mess. Apart from that game, the teams that have taken points off of us so far, none of them have played football against us. None of them have. Yeah. Southampton, they had to come and fight for their lives. We should have had a penalty from VAR, but it let us down, but it has helped us out on other occasions this season. So I'm not going to be too bitter about it because actually I don't think we deserved to beat them. They came and they didn't play football. They were beating us up. They were making it hard for us, low block, etc. Same with Newcastle United at the Emirates. Eddie Howe come with a game plan which worked, and he sat back and he put everybody on it. And he went, you know what? If we don't get a shot, it don't matter. We are not losing this game. Sean Dyche, we will get a set piece and we will score from it, but don't worry about doing anything else. Just hold back and don't play football.
Yeah.
And I think if Leeds try to do that under Javi Gracia, then yes, I think you could have a chance of nicking a point from us. Yeah. But it depends how you are in that system. I've not seen you enough under Javi Gracia, in my opinion. If you do come and try and give us a go, then I do think it'll be a comfortable win for us because I think we're on the pitch. We've got more talent and I think we'll do a job. But I've never seen a Leeds team come and do that under Bielsa or under Jesse Marsh, to be fair. I've never seen us come and do that. So could he do it this time? Let's see.
Yeah, that's the difference. Like, I've done a few little previews today across different channels, and obviously, naturally, you watch your own team more than others, and a lot of them were saying about the high pressing, the high line, etc. And it's totally removed from that now. So it will be interesting. I think, for me, knowing Grazia, if we can get to 45 minutes, 0-0, then, you know, he might make changes 60, 70 minutes and then try nick one kind of vibe. But much like a Daishi, you know what I mean? But listen, it's needs must. It's not about the style of play for me anymore at this moment in time. I just want to stay in the Premier League, mate.
Yeah.
Obviously, you must have been buzzing when you heard that there's no Adams, there's no Nonto, even though you still should be beating us with them out of the side as well. It's even better. Like, even Nonto, like, he scored at Old Trafford. He caused problems, you know, Old Trafford. He could cause problems for Ben White. It is what it is. Ben White's quality, but he's that type of player. Is there anyone outside of that, you know, you look at that you are concerned about? Rodrigo, maybe? Is there anyone, mate? Or you just like, nah, we'll be good? Because I could list all the Arsenal players like Trossard. They all concern me, mate.
Yeah, I think, you know, I'm not saying this to be big-headed, but I think Arsenal concern everybody at the moment because I think we don't fear anybody, and that's not me being arrogant. We don't fear anybody the way we're playing. But I'd be foolish to say that Leeds don't have players that can affect us. You know, when Bamford on his day can be really hard, absolute nuisance of a player, and he could be really difficult. Your new signing, your new striker, is he in? Is he in or out? Rutter, is it?
No, he'll be on the bench, mate. It'll be Rodrigo off the bench, I think, for Bamford. Rutter seemed a bit of a mad buy. We're buying him for future, and we need players for fucking now. Do you know what I mean?
You need him for now. You do.
Yeah.
But yeah, listen, the one that I would have looked at and homed in on would have been Nonto. I've been so impressed with him, mate. Like, he's another one that I love to watch. You know, in the Prem, I've got a few, and I look at him and I think, yeah, I was watching you against your last home game when you played at 3:00. Who did you have? Was it Wolves? I can't remember who it was now. But he was, and I watched
Brighton,
it.
I think.
Brighton. That's what it was. I watched it and I thought, like, I need to watch this kid because I can't get enough of him. And I don't remember what game it was, but he came on against, and it was around Christmas time. And I said to you on my channel, I said, "Who the hell is that? Willie, what's his name?"
Yeah.
And you said his name, and I couldn't remember it at the time. I was thinking, I can't say that name again. But yeah, fair play, his quality. Since then, mate, I definitely know who he is now. I've been watching him like, wow, a little bit like I did with Matoma when he come on the scene at Brighton. I thought I like watching him, and I'm the same with Nonto. So I'm so glad he's out. Tyler Adams, very underrated player. Very good. He's a workhorse. He don't stop. He's got good mentality. He's one of those players you need in your 11 and your squad. So I'm glad that they ain't in, of course. But it would be foolish for me to say you haven't got other players that can hurt us. Do you know what I mean? Jack Harrison is another player I rate. I think on his day he's a very good player. So we need to be careful, man. We can't come in this with a breeze in the park because it ain't gonna be, man.
Do you look at a Nonto? I mean, it's hard to get in at Arsenal. Obviously, you've got Martinelli, you've got Trossard, etc. But do you look at Nonto and think, you know, do you see him in a few seasons playing up towards the Arsenals, etc., in the top 6? Do you see him getting that move?
Yeah, I do, man. I do. I don't want to upset your fan base.
I get it,
because I know you want to keep hold of them, man. But unless you can progress and show that you know where you want. I mean, I personally would have kept Bielsa because I think he would have been going that way. Yeah. But you've gone with Javi Grazia, who has done better than I thought. I said to you, I think that's not the appointment I'd want, man. Yeah. But it's up to you. I don't think you should have kept Marsh, by the way. But I do think that you should have maybe looked at another appointment. But listen, he did well with Watford, and it looks to be that your fan base are happier with him than Marsh, so fair play to you. But yeah, I think with Nonto, he's going to be a top talent, mate. You can just see it. You know, sometimes the eye test don't let you down. You just know this kid's got a lot of potential, and you know, we need another. Believe it or not, we need another winger because Saka's getting absolutely caned every week, and if we're going to be looking at a player, then potentially that's one I'd be looking at. I don't know how realistic it would be and if he would want to move right now. But I think in Italy they seem to like him as well. He's getting his chance and he's certainly doing well in a Leeds shirt, mate. So I'd love him at Arsenal. I think he's top.
It's mad, man, because he actually came through it into Milan and then they sold him to Zurich. I think maybe because of his stature, but I bet they're looking at it now thinking, oh my God, what were we doing? Because
mad decision.
We only paid like 4.5 million for him. It's mental, mate. It's mental. I keep mentioning him. I just want to get your opinion on Trossard. I think that there, like, now do you look at it and think, do you know what? I won't say you dodged a bullet with Mudryk because he's going to come good eventually. But do you think Trossard was the right fit for now? Because I guess he's ready-made, whereas it looks like Mudryk's going to take some time. Do you know what I mean? How happy are you with that signing, mate?
Buzzing, mate. Over the
Yeah,
moon with it. He's been exceptional. He's got the feet of Alexander Khaled, mate. He is unbelievably quick, and the work rate is there. He seems to have slotted in. He's Premier League proven. And for me, it was the right signing 100%. If I was to tell you that I was not disappointed we didn't get
yeah,
Mudryk, I'd be
of
lying.
course.
Because, of
Yeah,
course, it was a big, exciting, wow, big money signing. Arsenal going for a title. They're going to get this kid in who's going to be the next best thing. When we realised we'd be getting Trossard instead, I didn't go, this is a shocking signing. What the
yeah.
hell are we doing from there? That was a good signing for me.
Mm,
What frustrated me more than anything, Joe, was the fact that we couldn't get our plan A over the line. That was more the frustration as
yeah,
opposed to, oh, look who we've got instead. Because
yeah,
look who we got instead is a bloody good player. And I tell you what, I've never seen anyone destroy a team in 45 minutes like I did him against Fulham. For
yeah.
just absolute 3 assists and 3 goals in
Mm,
the first half. I mean, that was impressive, mate. To be involved in all 3 of those goals is the first time it's happened in
yeah.
45 minutes away from home in the Premier League. So for me, he's been an absolute star. And it's going to be hard to actually drop him out of this 11 at the moment now that Gabby
Mm.
Jesus is back. It really is. And it wouldn't surprise me if he actually does continue playing at the weekend.
So what would be your 11? I'll tell you what I'll do, mate. I'll show what let's see what who scored have got it as, and you can tell me
Sure.
if it's different to that. Just 1 second, and I'll share my screen, mate. Boom, there we go. So that's what they've got it as there. Do you see
Hmm.
that being the lineup then, or would Trossard potentially come out and Jesus go in?
No, I think it will be that. And I think they're really cautious at the moment about what they do with Gabriel Jesus and how
Yeah.
much football he's playing. I don't think they want to just throw him in and say, there you go. You've come back from 3 months out. We've got to be serious about how we bring him back. Listen, I'll go through it quick. Ramsdale, one of the most underrated this season.
Yeah, I love
People
him,
talk
mate.
up, oh mate, he's been
Yeah, I
brilliant.
think he's a top keeper.
Oh,
Definitely.
he's been amazing, mate. And
Yeah.
people will always talk about Jorginho against Villa and Nelson against Bournemouth. What people forget, if it wasn't for Ramsdale, those moments wouldn't have meant anything because we would
Mm.
have we would have been losing. World class saves, mate. World class, not just good saves. World class. Zinchenko, left back, been integral to how we play that inverted role. Been superb. The mentality of this kid is ridiculously good, mate. He's a winner and he absolutely wants it. Gabriel, we mentioned, best centre half this season. Rob Holding will come in 100%. I think he will. They'll start with him. Did well against Palace because Ben White for me is undroppable. And for me, probably the
Mm.
most underrated player this season. The one that's gone
Are
under
you,
the radar.
were you
So good, man.
surprised he didn't get in the England setup? Something's gone off there, hasn't it, Potsy? For him to get
Ah,
sent home, because for me, because not only that, bro, he can play centre back. He played at centre back for Leeds United. He is more than adequate there. So for me, his ball playing is class, and he can play a number of positions. So I'm like, did we even find out why he got sent home, or was that
nope.
under the
Which is
yeah?
weird.
Something's gone off, hasn't it? I think.
Something's gone on, and as long as Southgate remains, he will not get picked from England now.
Yeah, yeah,
Which is a shame. In a way, it's
yeah,
from a selfish point of view, it's good because he won't get injured. But
yeah.
at the same time, he wants to play for his country and deserves to. He's a
Mm.
better centre half than half of them lads, in
Yeah,
my
I
opinion.
agree, man. Yeah,
And right back, okay, fair enough. We've got good positions there.
yeah,
I think Kyle Walker's been class. Reece James, obviously Trent. But for me, he's been the best right back in the league this season by
yeah,
far. I mean,
yeah,
Trippier's been good, but Ben White, come on, this guy's been unreal.
yeah,
So yeah, something's happened there, Joe. I don't know what, but something
yeah,
has. And I think one or two things has happened. He's just had a genuine falling out with the coaching staff and
yeah.
the manager and said, I'm out. Or he said, listen, if Eric Dyer and Maguire are playing ahead of me, then you might as well just let me go back home now. And they've gone, well, they are. So he's gone, okay, I'll see you later
Yeah,
then.
yeah, yeah,
And he's
yeah.
gone. One of those two things has happened.
Mm.
Um, a stat you won't want to know in the midfield, when those three play, we don't lose. We haven't lost a game yet.
I'm not surprised, to be fair.
They have been unreal, mate.
Yeah,
Absolutely unbelievable. Particularly Partey and Erdegaard, but Xhaka for me has just turned his career around. I
mm,
mean, just unbelievable, particularly in an Arsenal shirt. And that front three will cause any team nightmares on their day.
yeah,
You've talked about Saka, how good he is. Martinelli has been our top scorer this season, and for me, I just love the kid. Everything about the way he plays. I don't know about yourself. I'm sure you've been a
mm,
fan of him, but he has been
yeah.
unreal this season. And we've mentioned Trossard, So the only thing I will say is potentially if any of those were to lose their place or get a knock or whatever, then our bench is not as great. We have got
Mm,
Jesus coming on, which is good, and Smith Rowe. But other than that, then go down to like Fabio Vieira and Kieran Tierney, who I like, by the way. Some of the others, they're not quite there. Jorginho, those types. So for me, apart from Gabriel Jesus and Smith Rowe and Tierney, we then start to look at, oh God, who's coming on? So.
Do you know Smith Rowe? Like, Smith Rowe is a bit of a legend at Leeds United because he scored the goal for Huddersfield against West Brom that got Leeds promoted.
Oh, really? Okay.
He's a bit of a legend at Leeds, but he's a top player. What's happened to him? Because last season, like he was, is it injury and now he can't get back in? Is he not fully fit? Because for me, watching him, I'm like, this kid is mustard.
Yeah, he is mustard, and he drives teams forward. And when he spins and goes forward, you think, wow, no one's getting off it. And I'll tell you this, he's better than Jack Grealish was at Jack Grealish's age, in my opinion. And Jack Grealish is top quality. Whether you love him or hate him, he is a top quality player. So I think the ceiling's high for Smith Rowe. Injured all season, mate. Just literally cannot keep fit. Okay. And it's a concern for me because it happened at Leipzig. He went there on loan when he was about 18. And he started, everyone said, wow, this kid's quality. And he got injured rest of the season, about 6 months. I thought, oh, that's a shame. Went to Huddersfield, did really well. And I know the Huddersfield fans love him, think he's going to be, they loved him. And I didn't know that Leeds do as well for that moment. But last season, I thought, wow, Saka and Emil Smith-Rowe song was every week because the pair of them were scoring and assisting each other. Play so well together, on the same sort of wavelength. Telepathy's brilliant. Grew up together through the ranks, and it's a great story. But he's been injured too much this season, and he ain't getting back in the side, even if he is fit, because Trossard and Martinelli now got ahead of him. So he's going to be a squad player now. And sometimes that happens in football. You know, he come on, played against Man United, got injured, needed surgery, had surgery throughout the World Cup and the Christmas break, and hasn't been able to get himself back into the side and get himself up to fitness levels. And I'll be honest with you, mate, when he has come on, he hasn't looked too good. Having said that, in his latest couple of games, he's played for the under-21s. And he scored in one of the England games for under-21s as well. So hopefully he's starting to get back to full fitness because he's going to be vital for us moving forward. He's a top talent, mate. Yeah,
I really rate him. I rate that chant as well. Much more than that bloody Saliba one, mate. Oh, my God.
Saliba!
It's the first time I heard it. It was in my head for days, man. I was like, man. It's just mad.
That song's quality. Saka and Emil Smith-Rowe.
It's really, man. It is really good.
We have some shockers at Arsenal. Trust me, we have some shockers, but that's not one of them.
One thing I'll say though, Potsy, obviously, notoriously, rightly or wrongly, the Emirates atmosphere took a bit of a battering. But that seems to have changed this season. Is it the Ashburton Army? The fans are behind the players now. Is that obviously that's gonna? I think the thing is, like, if you go behind, they're not going to turn because they've seen you come back in games, the Villas, the Bournemouth, etc. Look at that Bournemouth one. That's a huge win when you consider where you were at. Yeah. So that atmosphere must have had a part to play this season as well.
Unbelievable. Home and away this season. Last 2 seasons, home and away, has been phenomenal. I was a little bit naive to the fact that I put a lot of it down to COVID, but then I realised actually it's not that. And people, they missed football, but this has got everything to do with what Mikel Arteta has done in relation to removing the culture and getting the connect between the fans and the players back again. Everybody in that coaching staff and himself and the players and the subs all seem to have a connect with the fan base. When they're warming up, there's a lot of cheering, there's a lot of connect. When the goals are going in, there's connect. After the game, everyone's walking around the end of the pitch at the end. And I think Mikel Arteta deserves a hell of a lot of credit for that because it was toxic when he took over. And even when he was manager, it became even toxic when we were coming 8th last season, 5th. Not all the fans were on side, including myself. I had massive doubts. And I feel like justifiably so I had doubts. I mean, we were coming 8th, 8th and 5th. That's not where I remember Arsenal being. So for me, there was serious doubts, mate. He deserves unbelievable amount of credit. What he has done, in my opinion, for the fan base this season has been phenomenal. And you're right in terms of what you said about the Ashburton Army and the drums come back and the fans lifted. That helps for sure. Yeah. But that isn't the sole reason. For me, it has been an absolutely amazing atmosphere. And Joe, quite simply, winning games.
Yeah,
going into those games, the confidence is up, the fans are believing it, seeing last-minute winners. It's in a title race, which is where we haven't been. Let's be honest, we've been in title races for the last few years, but they've never been serious like this.
No, of course.
You know what I mean? We've tailed off and we've not been able to catch up. For me, this one is a proper title race, which is what we've always wanted and what I've always wanted since we were told we're moving to the Emirates because we want to compete with the best. Well, let's make sure we do it now because at the moment, this is fantastic.
Yeah, of course, man. It's what you. Yeah, I was. To be honest, I was on Northern LDN's channel earlier on, and he was
Yeah.
like still fuming, like saying at the end of the season, if we don't win, I was like, just enjoy it right now, bro, man, because you're in a title race. That's where you want to be. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, do you know what as well? Just on Arteta, I was always a big advocate of his, and everyone watched that documentary, that Arsenal one, and. You know, we've seen that you'll never walk alone on the video, on the speakers and that. But by the end of it, though, Potsy, I even tweeted out at the time and said, I would run through brick walls for that, man. Do you know what I mean? So even though everyone initially thought they were watching it, say, oh, I can't wait for this. I think by the end of it, everyone went, actually, Arteta's got a bit about him. He knows what he's doing. Do you know what I mean? I think he's a good coach.
People said that's the best thing that could have happened to Arsenal. The reason I disagree is because it's not Arsenal. It's the best thing that could have happened to Arteta. Yeah, because he was down and out and proper. I didn't think there was a way back for him at the start of the season because I thought, listen, this is not a good look to lose out on top four, not a title, by the way. And the Amazon documentary, the first 3 episodes, everyone was cracking up laughing, absolutely cracking up, drawing the heart and the brain with the hands holding together, having a light bulb in his hand, speakers you know what I mean? Speakers blaring out. I was thinking, what are they doing to us? They're absolutely killing our club here. What is happening? And then by the end of it, the last 3, I think there was 6, weren't there? Or was there 9? I can't remember.
9,
the last 3, he really, really shot. And it weren't just him. It was the coaching staff. It was Steve Round. It was Carlos Kester doing the one-on-one stuff. Unbelievable. The work rate. AirPod Albert, as we called him. Richard Garlick and Edu. You know, even Josh Kroenke come across well, I thought. So for me, I thought this might be a good look for Arsenal right now, but it's definitely a good look for Mikel Arteta. And at the start, I was thinking, these guys are just silent because they don't know what the hell he's saying. And they're thinking, what are you talking about? By the end of it, the last 3, I was thinking, they're silent because they absolutely love him and they're engaged and they're interacting with him and they're cultivated by what he's saying. So for me, I feel that it was a good thing for him. And, you know, I think he deserves a lot of credit for what he's done off the pitch because for me, it's now showing on it. I think results-wise, I weren't a fan, Joe. I was like, get this guy gone, man. What's going on? We can't be losing 5 games in a row at home. And, you know, justifiably so. I've seen us win, man. I've seen us at the top, and that's what I want again. But when you look at what he's done off the pitch, and he's removed Ozil, Mustafi, Aubameyang, Kolasinac, all these absolute clowns that should never have been the shirt in the first place. And what the recruitment has done is, you're here for the right reasons. You're going to connect together. And it sounds like that's going to continue in the summer with the rumours of Declan Rice and players like that. This could be
if you got Rice, different
what a signing that'd be.
Yeah, and it's mad because I remember being on a podcast a couple of seasons back, and they were talking about Arsenal and Arteta, and there was chat about Saka maybe moving to City with his contract, Liverpool and Klopp being long-term admirers of Martinelli, and now you look at it and you go, well, there's no chance that's ever happening. You know what I mean? So it's mad how results and the right decision. Like, look at Man United. As much as it pains to say me, they've got their right man now, and the only way they're going is up. Come on then, mate. Give us a score prediction. I just want to speak to you about Spurs as well, just at the end, because
mate. Can always talk about them, mate. When they're doing rubbish days. I think we're going to win 3-1. We're not going to keep a clean sheet. I do think we'll have enough here, and I think that the international break is going to give us a little bit of fire in our belly to show everybody that we do mean business. We need to win going into the game at Anfield because that's going to be a very, very tough game for us mentally as well as physically.
Does that come after the Leeds game?
Yeah, after Leeds we go to Anfield. So for me, it's going to be tough. But this one's going to be as well. You know, I can't sit there and start talking to Arsenal fans about Anfield. I'm not one of those. I need to get through this one first and know that we'll be all right. I'm gutted because I've got a commitment on Saturday that I cannot get out of. So I'm not going to be there. And I'm absolutely gutted for it because I love this fixture. And I love Leeds away as well. It's a great one. Your fan base is great atmosphere as well. But I do think we'll win 3-1, mate. And I do think we'll have enough here. Your injuries have come at a good time for Arsenal. And I just don't see how we won't get through this game. But, of course, I could be wrong, man. This season's mad. Yeah.
Leeds United, obviously, you actually know about the rest of the league because you do your 12-man show and you get regular fans on. Do you think Leeds can stay up, bro?
I think you will stay up. And I didn't say that a few weeks ago. You change every week at the moment, don't you? But
yeah, man. It's because of the league, isn't it, man? We went from being in the relegation zone to 14th after beating Wolves. It was mad.
It's mad. It's mad. I look at who Are there three worse teams than Leeds? And I think the answer is yes. Yes. I've not moved off Southampton and Bournemouth for months.
No, same.
I think them two are down. And I love Dave, but I
It's
think
Forest.
Forest.
I keep saying
I
that as
think
well,
the
bro.
away
Yeah.
form is killing them, and I really think they're going to struggle.
Yeah.
I think Everton, Deitch factor, he's got enough to know how to win
yeah.
games, and I don't see West Ham going down as much as it make me
And
laugh.
Palace won't drop enough.
They won't
will
go
they?
under Roy Hodgson. They won't go. They won't go. I think Leicester will have enough quality, and Wolves, I think, are pretty much out of it under Lopetegui now because of the way he plays. But I just think Forest are in serious trouble. I just think they are.
Forest have got Wolves at the weekend, and then us on Tuesday night. So if they lost both them games, curtains maybe. Well, I can't say curtains. A long way to go, but still, yeah, man. Because the mad thing is, they could win. We get beat by Arsenal, which I think we will, and then it's all pressure on us trying to get a result. If we don't, then they've leapfrogged us, and it's mad. It's mad. It'll all change. Just before I let you go, mate, Spurs. I was having a chat earlier on with a gal actually about this. You know, if they don't get top 4 this season, right? Which is, I don't think they will, bro. Now, and I know they're still in 4th, and I think they might have a points cushion. But do you think they're in trouble of like missing? Football's cyclical, right? It goes round and round, right? Leicester had their time, and I'm not saying Spurs are like Leicester. I'm just using it as an example. Obviously, we were in the Champions League years back. I just think that if Spurs don't get it now, with the turnover that's needed at the squad and the fact that Man United are going to improve, Chelsea are going to improve, Newcastle now have entered the party, and I think Villa will go again under Emery, there's a big chance that Tottenham next season might even struggle for Europe full stop, bro.
Spurs are finished, mate. They're finished, and I'm so glad because in that time they've won nothing, and it's hilarious. They've had this famous 11 that they say under Poch that got to the Champions League final. Mate, 11s need to be famous for winning something. Do you know what I mean? They've won nothing. Pochettino was an unbelievable manager. Yeah, correct. He was good for Tottenham, but he didn't win him anything. You know, Conte and Mourinho have both gone there and lost their air and said, "I'm off. See you later." This is shocking here. Daniel Levy and that ownership, unless they leave, Tottenham are going nowhere, in my opinion. They're more interested in having a go-kart track underneath their stadium than winning trophies. It's embarrassing, absolutely embarrassing. For me, I don't know that I can see Tottenham moving forward after the loss of Harry Kane. I think Conte actually would have got them top 4 still, even with the moaning. That's what he's like. You just keep him and say, look, just stop moaning. You're going at the end of the season anyway. Get us top 4, leave us in the Champions League, and you can go where you want, mate. A lot of Tottenham fans disagree and say, get him gone. I'll leave you on this, though, Joe. And I don't know what your thoughts are. Tottenham fans hate it when I say this, but it's true. If Arsenal were 5th or 6th right now, none of this would be happening. There'd be no crisis at Tottenham whatsoever. Because we're flying high at the top, they're like, right, how are they top of the league? Get this guy gone. How can't he get us where they are? Well, they finished above us last year. And no, it's nothing to do with Arsenal. Nothing to do with Arsenal. I don't like this narrative. Nothing to do with Arsenal. Tobes, all of them. Henry come on and said to me, you're probably right, Potts. You're probably right. If you were 8th, we'd be all right because look at us. We're getting top 4 and Arsenal are. Because they're so obsessed with this team. They're absolutely obsessed by us. They're even trying to copy us, right, in our most shockingly bad season and most unsuccessful period of being an Arsenal fan. They're copying what we're doing. We're going to move to a big stadium. We're going to try and use top 4 as a trophy. They're doing all that we want. Now what they're doing, what are Arsenal doing? Well, we better go and get a project manager in and trust the process for the next 4 years. That's what'll happen. They're doing what we're doing, mate. They are a shambles of a club, man. And I can't stand their fan base. I can't stand them as a club. I would just fold the club, man. They've tried everything. Just fold the club. No one would miss them. Do you know what I mean? No one would miss them. They don't.
We've got them last game at season. Beat
them, man. Beat them for me. Wow. I can't stand them. They've shoehorned themselves into this big club all the time, and it drives me insane. You have to actually win stuff to be a big club, you know. Like in my lifetime, I've seen Leeds do what they've done. Do you know what I mean? They've got into the Champions League. Do you know what I mean? But they will say, but they never got to the final. They never won a League Cup. They've not won a so-and-so. Just calm down, man. It's embarrassing. Honestly, man. It's absolutely embarrassing. Yeah. And they were parading, going, top 4, we got top 4, you didn't. I don't celebrate top 4 for one, and I never celebrate St. Tottenham's Day when we finish above them. That's a shocking thing to celebrate, by the way, Arsenal fans. It's embarrassing. People.
Oh, is that a thing?
Oh, St. Tottenham's Day has come. What, we finished above Tottenham? Is that an achievement? Come on, man. Like, honestly, raise the standards. I can't stand it, mate. I can't stand it.
Good man. Yeah, I don't think it's that wild of a take that it's do or die. That's why I think it's mad they've left the guy in charge that they have, who was part of Conte's setup. It's all a bit wild. Right, mate. Well, we'll leave it there. 45 minutes in the bank. Thank you very much for coming on, Potsy. I know you've just jumped straight up from one to another, so it means a lot, bro. Do you want to just tell folks where you're at? I know I appear when I can. I've been working. You keep doing the times when I'm working, man.
Yeah, man, it's hard. I love having you on, man. But yeah, it's mad. It's mad getting times where everyone can do, innit? But yeah, man, listen, I appreciate coming. Always come on for you, man, because I've got to return a favour the amount of times you've been on my channel. But listen, always a pleasure. Make sure you like and subscribe to these people. But if you do want to come follow me, it's at DanArsenal87 on Instagram and Twitter. I'm on Insta now as well. I'm trying to get better with social media, man. I'm terrible with it.
I can't keep up, man.
Yeah, I've got to get myself on TikTok next.
Mate, I have a TikTok, bro. I had to turn the comments off. I was getting hammered and it weren't good for me, so I just turned comments off.
Honestly, bro, it's mad.
Football Twitter, like football. Not just Twitter, but it's brutal, innit, man? It's horrible.
Twitter is toxic, but it's probably the one I use the most to promote. So I'm most following, really. Instagram, I've got like I'm coming up to a couple of thousand. Whereas Twitter's, I've got like sort of 7,000 odd. So that's why I always go on there. But with TikTok, I need to get it. But it's at DanArsenal87 if you do want to follow me, and if you can come and support my channel, which is Football's 12th Man podcast. That would be amazing. I'm on my way to 8K season, people. So that would be amazing.
7.76, I can see it. Listen, I appear on there, and there's a wide spectrum of fans and all that sort of stuff. It's obviously heavily Arsenal, but loads more as well. And the name of Dan's channel's in the title to this video, so click that. You'll take you straight through and subscribe there, okay? I'll be doing a preview in the morning, folks, and me and Corey will be back on Friday at 5 o'clock, just looking at the running. So join us then. Thanks for watching. Make sure you show some love to Potsy, and we will see you in a bit.